concept was to inventory all the assets across the state of California, particularly those amongst those businesses that were suffering from the loss of defense opportunities and things. And it worked really well in San Diego. And San Diego's a huge success story because they did invest in this asset inventory system, and it helped the community begin to leverage existing assets that they didn't really take advantage of previously, and it has grown over the last 2 decades. And the state of California got one of the first Wired Initiative investments, and that was a federal workforce investment, regional economic development. It was $15 million that went to the California Space Authority to help our space industry. And out of that $15 million, there was a significant portion of that investment that went to the connectory that was created out of defense conversion. So the state kind of built on these resources every time we got hit with some issue in the state. And so that's where Project 17, I thought, great opportunity now to bring the prior investments forward and hopefully capture new investment and take things to the next level. So the connectory here, you can see it's actually a connectory for the whole United States. Linking U.S. industry to the world is their tagline there. But basically, it has the capability of setting up different portals, if you will, so that you can look at limited pieces of this database. So the connectory had the potential to take our Project 17 region and create a portal so that if we got our local assets into this database, we could then work within this window that really focused on our region. Or you can open it up, look at it statewide, you can open it up, look at it nationwide. It has some great capabilities. One of the first things our committee did, and Susan told you a little bit about the committee, about a dozen people, and we first looked at, what exists around already that we can use to make our own asset inventory. And so we brought Jo Marie Diamond, who is the director for this project, out of San Diego. We brought her up here so she could really show us the capabilities of this website. And I'm not going to go into the detail of the capabilities, but the point was we talked about this, and it's a functional website. It's not really fancy technologically. We see a lot more fancy stuff coming out of Silicon Valley and so many other interactive social networks and things today. This is still really sitting in 90s technology. But the potential for leverage points is huge. There are, I forget now how many companies in there, thousands and thousands. It has the ability for a company to put their capabilities, their resources, their technology, their ISO clearances, their licensing products, et cetera, everything into this database so it's searchable, so that if you're looking for a particular subcontractor or synergistic relationship between two types of industries or companies, such as Deb's example of the solar, wanting to leverage off of her hydro farming activity, that's the kind of relationship this kind of an inventory, an asset inventory, could help facilitate and bring together. The system is designed to be no cost to business. From an economic development standpoint, it is an incredible tool to help our businesses get the resources they need to take their technologies to the next level, to find those partnerships or those contracting opportunities or whatever it is that business needs to expand and grow and create the jobs. So it's really a lot of potential there. But I have seen firsthand what it did in San Diego, and San Diego is a very thriving economy now, and I think the connectory was root contributor, thank you, to that. So we brought this here, and we brought Jo Marie Diamond to meet with our dozen committee members, and some folks on the committee, Alex of A2 Technologies, Alex Adams, yes, has some knowledge of how he might make a more interactive, user-friendly type system. But I could see the potential where he could take this to a whole new level and really expand it, make it much more attractive, much more exciting and user-friendly with some investment. And so that's the idea where we're sitting at right now, that we want to take existing technology and invest in it and take it further, perhaps through the grant funding that you've applied for, to really make it something that not only would serve the Monterey region, but as this does for the United States and the different portals and things, really being a trendsetter, if you will, in the area of asset inventory. I just think the important contribution that this committee would make is taking this technology to the next level and bringing it alive locally. And I think the Project 17, one of the values I've seen, just to kind of wrap up a little bit, it's stimulated dialogues in different sectors across our community, whether or not it's happening in the MTC office or in the committee work that we're doing in the various aspects. I am seeing some shifts in how our service providers are working in the communities. The Castroville project, we did what we're calling a living laboratory, where we're doing more holistic approaches to the work that we do. In that particular project, we did a research level where we brought the university in to look at the community and look at economic leakage in the community. We surveyed the residents. We did a real in-depth study of a anchor cornerstone project where the Artichoke restaurant is. I don't know if you're familiar with Castroville, but it's the heart of producing artichokes, and there's this restaurant. The heart of the artichoke, you're right. Best part. And the restaurant was really not doing really well, and they were struggling, and so we went in and did a real in-depth study of what's happening there, and had a restaurant consultant work with them and turn them around by improving their menu and making it more focused on artichokes. So a lot more menu items on there are artichoke related. It's nicer, it's more culturally relevant, tells the history of the community. And then they're going to be doing the county RDA, painted the whole downtown, replaced windows in a lot of the stores, the Small Business Development Center, not just the CSUMB Small Business Development Center, but the Central Coast Small Business Development Center that's up in Santa Cruz, worked in the community together, and they worked with those business owners, and there were ties with the RDA investment to the business owners that, hey, we'll put new windows in your business, but you need to work with the Small Business Development Center to make sure your business is as efficient and profitable as it can be. And so we got the whole community pride raised, business was more at the table, we had the informal leadership engaged, and they're saying, business owner over here, you need to talk to the SBDC, everybody needs to get engaged. So that's what I mean by this holistic. All of the resources that are put into the project, we kind of did this concentrated 6-month intensive living laboratory or regional focus kind of thing, and we got a lot more impact at the end of the day. As we've moved this forward and talked about a private sector model and all these kinds of things, I mean, even though the committee has that, how do you expand that out into the region and get the awareness of the region and get the investors and the businesses to step into it and take advantage of it? It's a long-term project.
Thanks,
so that's all I have.
Thanks very much, Andrea.
Thanks, Andrea.